So how we got the AI? How we teach the computer to do? We can simulate the nature. We can know the information series, something like the math. We can let the computer to know what's going on there. Something like game series also be okay. Something like symbolic. For example, the circle and the cross will be yes and no. And symbolic, we always do that. Something like with the traffic, we know the stop sign, or something like the speed limit there, so we can know the symbolic. And also we can teach the computer to do that. Something like logical basic, A plus B to C. Something like knowledge based, something we have already know. We have already known in our mind. We can write it, kind of become a knowledge. It will become a rule. So this rule will help us to teach the computer what's going on there. And the computer will follow the rules to analyze the data, to classify the data, to predict the data. So we talk about the simulation. Simulate is kind of to do the things, to do what the father do, what the mother do. We just like follow in what the natures do. There are a lot of ways to simulate the nature, and we can change that into our computer software. Something like a neural network, something like evolution algorithm, something like a simulated linear, something like a particle swarm, something like ant. We can simulate ant, something like firewall. It all become a kind of natural things, but you can simulate that. You can do that to become a computer software. So neural network is become a popular thing. So artificial neural network, we'll talk about in detail in following chapter, but right now just brief to give introduction there. Nowadays, the artificial intelligence is kind we have already know it kind of powerful approach to classify the data, to automate driving, something like that. It just like our brain, just like the things we have to know, already know, and how we drive, how we run, and how we play the game. All the things you can teach the computer how they can do. And each neuron is just like the brains in our the neurons in our brain, the human brain. So it just sends something, some signal, some electric to other electric, and change the things we have to do, just like that. When we see something, we know there will be something there. For example, we see a bug flying there. We saw that it become a signal in our mind, and it will become electric to send another neuron to know what we were going to do. Something we will. For example, we see a butterfly there. We can see that, and the signal through our eye to our brain, to our neuron, and see. We can use our muscle to touch the fly, something like that. So we are already to know what the things we are going to do in our brain. We just simulate this kind of pathway from our eye to our muscle. We raise our hand. We see something. As the people we have familiar with, we see him. So our brain give up a signal to raise their hand to say hello. This kind of things is just the neuron will do in our brain. So artificial intelligence also the same. You just see the camera there, and it becomes a signal to the computer, and we store it through our neural network, artificial neural network, to do the things what we're gonna do. Something like to signal there, so I see the product there, and we'll use our robot arm to pick up that things. So it's just the same way. Artificial intelligence just simulate the nature, the things in our brain. So in here, we have to know what can artificial intelligence do. So we can let the computer to know what the things were going on. So use our wisdom, how we train, how we teach the computer. So what can they do? We can see that there's a lot of product here, something like car autopilot. So you drive on the road. Today we're going to Taipei, and I drive the car with on the highway. We can drive the car on the highway, or I push the autopilot, and in auto drive, just auto drive it. So according to the road, the roads make a right turn, you become right turn. Make a left turn, you become left turn. If you see a car there, you touch the car and just go through that. Just autopilot. Something like guessing. Something like we draw something and let the computer to guess. And something like the auto answering. The people maybe go to the library or go to the mall, or we lost the way. We have to ask somebody to guide us to the way, to the place we want to get there. So you can ask the robot, how can we get to the Jing University? And it will give you a way to do that. Something like gaming. You see, you play the Star Wars 2. Star Wars 2 use the human vs computer. How computer do? It can artificial intelligence. Something like auto programming. We have to already know the programming way. So we have to do the programming. But sometimes the things we are all sense, because we teach the computer to do the things is repeatedly. So the code will be the same. So we don't have to do the same way again. So we just tell the computer to fill the code. So it will help us to do that. For example, we talk about the car autopilot. It will become to famous way right now. You driving the car on the road and auto parking, these two ways. So you become a kind of a sensor placed on the car, and the car will try to detect the edge between the side road and the center of the road. So you keep the car in the center. So we talk about the car autopilot, how they do. You see here, the car will place the 3 sensors on the car in the front, maybe on the top on the car. Here we just talk about the example. So actually, the sensor will be more than 5. So the sensor just detect the way, the edge, your car between the edge and your car, and the way, the distance between your car and the center line. So you keep these 2 distance will become similar, and you keep your car at the middle and just drive it. You'll be autopilot. But sometimes will be some kind of shake because the line not always be there. So when they detect, they cannot be detected. So they'll keep you going. So you become something of kind of a shake. But actually, the sensor there will be more than 5. So there are a lot of ways to detect the line, these 2 lines. So you become a kind of keep the driving will be very smoothly. So the same, we talk about the auto parking. The auto parking is the same way. You also use a lot of sensor there. We talk about, we see the car, you place a lot of sensor. It detect the edge and the edge point there. So we see the pointer, and the car will drive there and to find the distance and to park your car inside the circuit, the square there. So these 2 things is kind of artificial intelligence. We just tell the computer what we see, the numbers there, how we try to use the sensor to detect the distance between this sensor and the distance and the different phases. Just tell him, and the computer will drive our car to place our car in the right way, just like autopilot. So this kind of things, just like to use our knowledge to tell the computer how we can do.